Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishi Sarvada. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 22nd of April 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma, Bhagavan, residing in the heart of every single being. We are continuing to examine Vivekchudamani, verse number 77. As I mentioned yesterday, there are an extensive amount of notes that have been written on this particular verse to better understand the Advaitic text. At some point in the future, they will be transformed into a book format available for free download through the internet. For those who are doing more extensive research in Vedanta or interested in deeper levels of understanding, we are covering these carefully, one step at a time. So, to continue from yesterday, for Shankaracharya, perception is not a neutral window onto a ready-made world. Let's be clear about these points. See if I can open this up for you, because somehow this is on a different computer. Give me just one moment. Okay, so what Shankaracharya Ji is saying here, you should be able to hear me now because I'm not moving my head to the other computer here. What Shankaracharya Ji is saying, that perception is not a neutral window onto a ready-made world. You see this sentence? This is very interesting. What exactly is the meaning of this? That when we are seeing the objects outside, right now we're seeing, wherever we're sitting, we're seeing so many different objects outside. Those objects are happening because there's perception going on. I'm perceiving them. But what Shankaracharya Ji is saying is that it is not a neutral window. It's interesting. It means that the objects outside, whatever is outside, is actually Brahman. It is only the one reality. It is one super consciousness. But through our mental mechanism, through our mind, body, indriyas, etc., that perception is not neutral. Neutral in the sense that there is a way that we are perceiving the world automatically, because it is an act of adhyas. So this is the second point here. It is an act of adhyas. This is difficult to understand. I know it is difficult. Great scholars have been trying to understand this for thousands of years, so it's going to be difficult for us also a little bit. It's an act of adhyas, superimposition, that projects nama rupa upon the undifferentiated field of awareness. Field of awareness is our experience. It's the Atma's. The Atma is the field of awareness. It is aware of everything. So, when we are perceiving through the mechanism of the body, the mind, the senses, the brain, etc., this world that we see outside is a superimposition. It is a superimposed phenomena where Nam and Rup, names and forms, are projected, they are perceived upon the undifferentiated field of awareness. Meaning what? I'll give you a simple example. I have a cup of coffee in my hand right now. All right. Well, this is according to Advaita Vedanta. There's no cup of coffee here. There's nothing there actually except the consciousness. But somehow, through the power of Maya, the Jivatma is given that experience through the senses, through the indriyas, through the brain, the mind, the mechanism, and then whatever is out here is perceived through the five senses, and that is how we detect the cup of coffee. But in reality, there's no cup of coffee outside there. There's only pure, undifferentiated consciousness. There's nothing outside or inside. So the play of Maya creates this division. I hope you can hear me now. I hope there shouldn't be any breaking at this point. That's the point here. Now, okay, so let's look at the next line. The instant a form is apprehended over there, like the cup of coffee. You can see this line here. Just a moment, I'll make that bold for you and make that a little bit so you can see that in different color there. The instant a form is apprehended over there. I'm holding a cup of coffee. It's over something over there. The category of desha comes into being. Desha meaning the realm of reality within which we are living. So what he's saying is that the consciousness that is the Atman is through the power of Maya. It has this sense that there is something over there. There's a mountain there. There's a bicycle there. There's a friend over there. That is the category of desha. Desha doesn't mean like country. It means area or realm, right? So that comes into being. It's like, oh, there's a playground there. There's a tree there. This is all part of desha. And in registering a now distinct from then, that means the kala, the time exists. The time gets created. Oh, 5 minutes ago this happened, then this happened. So desh and kal, two points are here. It's the creation of time every single moment, as long as we're within the field of Maya. If Maya removes her influence, there's no desh, there's no kal, this world will not even exist anymore. If the body will not exist, the world will not exist. Only the pure super consciousness exists. Nothing else. That is called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That is called the Sakshatkar of Brahman. So what we are considering to be the world, it will disappear. Okay, this is Shankaracharyaji's theory. Okay, Shankaracharyaji's teaching in Advaita. This is Advaita Vedanta. We need to be very careful to understand this. So, kala arises, the arising of time. Time comes into being. Okay, so in explaining how one event follows another, nimitta is assumed. Nimitta meaning, the word nimitta there is referring to the instrumental causation. This paragraph yesterday, we were looking at this paragraph on top yesterday. And this will all be available to all of you. I mean, this is all written at a very high level of English, deliberately. So it's for my purpose mostly, but others might be interested in this in the future who want to do research on this, right? So this is very, very powerful to understand 3 points here. Desh, Kal, and Nimitta. Like I'm holding a cup of coffee, that is called Nimitta, right? Now, what is the practical application of any of this? Somebody might say, well, this all sounds very philosophical. And iska practical application kya hai? It has great practical application. I'll try to explain that a little bit here. So, first of all, whatever we are coming in contact with, as the Gita teaches us, remain extremely still. Try to maintain steadiness in the variety of experiences. The experiences keep changing in the Jagrata Avastha. So now there's a combination point here. There's Jagrata Avastha, waking state. The experiences keep changing. There is the Desh, Kal, and Nimitta in the Jagrata Avastha. Right? Like for example, Sachin goes into the car and drives from my house to Acme. So now I feel like I'm going from here to there. The Atma is not going from here to there. The whole Brahmand is revolving around me only, around the Atma Tattva. There's no coming or going for the Atma. Atma doesn't go anywhere. Atma is never born or never dies. There's no mother, there's no father, there's no relatives. Kuch bhi nahi hai for the Atma. The Atma Tattva is Chaitanya. Chaitanya Tattva, it is Sakshi. It is Drashta, the witnessing consciousness. So it's not going anywhere. Now look, Desh, Kal, Nimitta, but we need to understand this from where we are. Even right now, Sachin is speaking to you. You are listening, you are speaking to me. There's a duality there. So because there's Desh, Kal, Nimitta, we're in Jagrata Avastha. If there's no Jagrata Avastha, there's no speech, there's no thought, there's no concept. There's only Samadhi. And then there's no Jagat also. There's only the one without a second, Nirguna Brahman. Right, the Nirguna aspect or the Nirakara aspect of Akshara Brahma. That's it. Then what? then nothing. Then there's no experience of any kind except Sat Chit Ananda. Koi Brahman nahi hai, there's no other duality of any kind. There's no bodies of any kind. It is an disembodied state. There's no body of any kind. There's no God also of any kind. That's interesting too. We might say Brahman is God. You can use, but that's not really the right expression in Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta doesn't believe in God. Remember this one thing. Advaita Vedanta believes in Saguna Brahman as God, below Brahman, underneath Maya. So Advaita Vedanta says there is infinite. See now, that's I don't know. Pratimate, can you hear me? You're okay. So maybe you cannot hear me. So I don't know why.
No. In between, just few seconds. 1 second, your voice was disrupted.
I see. It must be some connection. I'll have to double check this.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is very interesting to keep in mind when we say that. That Advaita Vedanta says that everything is God. This word God is a Western word. That word is not there in our scriptures. Remember, our scriptures don't believe in God. There's no God at all actually inside the Sanatana Dharma. There is Bhagavan, but that word doesn't mean God. Remember this. We think it does, but it doesn't. It means one who has the 6 bhagas, 6 qualities. The word Parameshwar, after Shankaracharya ji, yes, in that sense, you can say that is the Param Tattva, Param Brahma. So you can say that is God, but these systems are different. In Advaita Vedanta, there is only Nirakara Brahman. And through Maya, which is its own power, projects Saguna Brahman, and that Saguna Brahman is God. That is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, all the deities that we see. You understand that most people don't know this. Most people in Sanatana Dharma don't know what is Advaita. People say, "Hum Advaita Vedanta ka abhyas kar rahe." We want to realize Brahman. But the word Brahman is from the Upanishads. And that same word is used in the Gita and the other scriptures also. Brahman means vast, unending reality. It doesn't mean God. Remember. So Brahman has Shakti, which is it's his own power. The Advaitic teaching is that there is one infinite consciousness that has Shakti. And that Shakti is its dynamic power, and the same Brahman projects itself as Saguna Brahman, and that Saguna Brahman are infinite number of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv. And they are called Vairaj Purush. इसको वैराज पुरुष कहते हैं, इसको विष्णु नारायण कहते हैं, इसको ये सब धाम है, सब भगवान के जो धाम, they are transcendental places, but that is called Saguna Brahman. Now you can call them God, yes, if you want. You see, but again, that's still a Western term. The term is Saguna Brahman. Saguna means underneath Maya, within the qualities of Maya. Now that Mool Shakti, that Mahaprakriti, is infinite energy. So the Brahman and Shakti are one, they're abhed. This is the idea. Now in this projection, the Brahman is actually dreaming itself as the many. It's not even becoming the many. That is why Shankaracharya ji's guru, Shankaracharya ji's guru's guru, Shankaracharya ji's guru was Govinda Padacharya. Govinda Padacharya ji's guru was Gauda Padacharya. And there are scriptures and commentaries written by him. They're available online also. Gauda Padacharya propagated this teaching of Ajatavad, that there's no creation at all. There's nothing there actually except this imagination of the Brahman. Can you imagine? What an idea this is. Ye kya idea hai? This is Advaita Vedanta. And Shankaracharya ji wants to awaken us to that realization that I am Brahman. Now, I'm going to just point one or two very quick. Let's take 2 extra minutes here. After Shankaracharya ji, all the acharyas that came after him said this is only partial realization. Kitna amazing realization hai. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, all these big acharyas. Sajanand Swami Maharaj in the Panchbhet, this very intense Vedanta. He says this is only partial. They don't accept that this is only the only thing. No. They said that Parabrahma Tattva is beyond this Brahman that you're talking about. You see that Bhagavan jo hai, what we're using as the word Bhagavan, See, like for example, in the Gita it says Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Right? Okay. But when Krishna is talking about Brahman and Parabrahman, like in the chapter 15 in the Gita, he doesn't use the word Bhagavan there. He's using the word Purushottam there in chapter 15. There's no word Bhagavan anywhere in the Gita except when Krishna is speaking, and it also doesn't say Sri Krishna Uvacha. It says Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. That's interesting. Why that is there also. That's another subject some other time. See, a proper detailed study of the original language is needed here. The things that have come in tradition are very much mixed up and confused, and people have thrown in stuff inside there that go to the original scriptures, what the original Sanskrit teachings are, what the original commentaries are, then we can understand it properly. So when Krishna is saying that tasma charamati-toham akshara-dapi chottama atosmi loke vedecha pratitah purushottamaha, he says that I am beyond shar and akshar, I am purushottam. Now ye jo baat hai isme you can say that Purushottam is Bhagavan, but the word Bhagavan means one who possesses the 6 bhagas. These are 6 Aishwaryas. So any human being, even if they possess those 6 Aishwaryas in their totality, they can be called Bhagavan. You see, so it is that means you have realized the Atma Tattva. Watch the language very carefully. So when Bhagavan Krishna is saying that I am Bhagavan, he is speaking, now this goes back into the other acharyas who came after Shankaracharya ji, who said, no, there is the abode, the abode of God, Bhagavan ka sharir hai, Bhagavan sakar hai, unke sharir mein se prakash nikalta hai. That light that is coming from the body of Parabrahma, that is Brahman, and that is what Shankaracharya ji is stopping there. You see that light and you think that is God, and that is only a fragment of God. So when Madhvacharya ji, Ramanujacharya ji, Vallabhacharya ji, when they came on the scene after Shankaracharya ji, they said that no, this thing that Shankaracharya ji is talking about, it is only the very beginning. It's not, you have not seen actually the Parabrahman. You've seen only the light coming from the body. This discussion is there extensively in the Vachanamrut of Bhagavan Swaminarayan. You see, so when we come to Vachanamrut, to understand Vachanamrut, we're looking at 10,000 plus years of historical Vedantic development and realization of the rishis. On that basis, Vachanamrut is written. And of course, the commentaries on the Gita and other scriptures, because it depends on the Rishi's realization. In the Bhagavad Gita, it doesn't use the word nirvana by itself like Buddhism does. It says Brahma Nirvanam. Why is that? Because the Buddha took the Vedas and threw them all out. So Shankaracharya ji came after Buddha and revived the entire Vedic tradition to keep them alive. And so in the Gita also, it says Brahma Nirvanam. Nirvanam is there. Nirvana means that you are gone outside of Maya. But the Brahman is actually there. It's not Shunyavad. In Buddhism, there is Shunyavad. Kuch hai hi nahi. What is the goal of life? What is the purpose of moksha? Nothingness. Well, you're entering into nothingness every day, into Shushupti Avastha. What's new about that? And then is that non-existence is the goal? You see, it is a form of atheism. It is Nastikvad, Buddhism, the tradition. Buddhism doesn't believe in God or Brahman or any such thing. It believes in nothingness, Shunya, Shunyatavad. The path is very interesting. Eightfold path, all that stuff is good for one's life awareness. But there's no concept of Atma. Their concept is Anatma, that there is nothing like Atma. There's only mind, and once the disturbances of the mind are finished, you go into nothing. There's no you anymore. There's no you at all. So they have extensive scriptures that talk about these different types of Buddhism that have come about later on. You see, so then that all nearly took over the entire Sanatan Sanskriti. So Shankaracharya ji came on the scene, and he revived the Vedic tradition, made the 4 gadis, and installed the different murtis of the incarnations, and wrote all these 80% stotras of all the devatas and all that. That saved the Sanatana Dharma. Otherwise, the whole Sanatana Dharma would have been wiped out completely. You see, so the Veda mantras were orally transmitted. They were saved. You see, otherwise they would have been completely obliterated. But they have been kept exactly in the same parampara without any changes. That is why the Sanskrit is necessary to understand these points. This is some of the history. When we are trying to understand this Desh, Kal, Nimitta, these concepts of Vedanta, these ideas are about the Tattva itself. That what is the actual Tattva? So let me just close with this one final point. What is the practical meaning here with all this discussion, right? The practical meaning is that to be in a state of jignasa. The jignasa means curiosity. That what am I? Who am I? What is happening in my life? What am I doing? Am I getting stuck somewhere? The experiences I'm having, where are they coming from? You see, so this is where, practical point for all of us, the more we connect with Bhagwan, with Ishtadevata, with God, now I'm using the word God now here, because that's all we can do. We cannot understand that infinite consciousness. You cannot connect with that because that is who you are. You cannot connect with something that you already are. So that means that's a strange thing. So you have to connect with something dualistic to discover the non-dual. You have to connect with the Ishtadevata, and by the progression further, the false identification, the superimposition, the adhyasa through Desh, Kal, Nimitta, and all these things, this will all vanish. Even though the world exists, it is no longer binding the individual because of the realization that it is a superimposition. It is no longer holding any kind of an impact. Relatively, it is there, Vyavarika, but that's it. There is a realization of the actual tattva. And when that tattva is realized, one is a Jivan Mukta. This is the progression. So this word Jivan Mukta is used in Vedanta. It is used in Vedas by Bhagwan Swaminarayan. I've been doing research on that also. If you want to listen to those recordings, they're in Gujarati actually. But this is the point, right? So this study of Advaita Vedanta is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Its practicality we will look at. Step by step. I just wanted to mention this today to talk about some of the more intricate writing on this. And then on that basis, it'll take some time, but eventually the whole thing will just open from inside. Oh, you can see it absolutely very, very, very clearly. All right, so let's stop here for now. And we will do the closing mantra. Om Dhyanamulam Gururmurti Mantramulam Gururvakyam Pujamulam Gururpadam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa Om Tameva Mata Chapita Tameva Bandusha Saka Tameva Vidya Dravinam Tameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundai Viche Sarva Mangala Mangale Shive Sarvartha Sadike Sharanyatrambake Gauri Narayani Namostate Om Durge Rakshini Tha Swaha Om Shri Radha Krishna Arpanamastu.